Good morning, it's Friday, the 31st of July 2026. My name is Mark Sexton, a retired police constable from Birmingham. Some major developments are happening behind the scenes, and I need to bring these to your attention today, and also to make you aware that a number of crimes have been committed against the people across the UK, England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. A crime report was made in December 2021 by myself, by two lawyers, Philip Hyland and Lois Bayliss, and by Dr. Sam White. Many of you will know that that crime report was unceremoniously and criminally shut down in February of 2022. The Met Police said they couldn't find any evidence of crimes. We believe that to be false. As a result, and with the ongoing work over the last 4.5 years, the Metropolitan Police are now investigating how that crime report was closed down. I made a complaint in March of 2026. That complaint is now being investigated, and the IOPC have confirmed the Metropolitan Police need to investigate my complaint about why and how that crime report was shut down. Of importance as well, you will also be aware, we made it public, the Scottish Police Authority are also investigating Police Scotland and their conduct regarding Operation Talla, and the Spears Directive and Deputy Chief Constable Alan Spears about their conduct as to why they didn't investigate crimes that were reported by members of the public relating to COVID, the vaccines and the government. A number of people are asking how they can get on board with the complaint that I have made, and they are asking how they can be deemed as an interested party. I asked the question of the Metropolitan Police Professional Standards Directorate, and they said if anybody was involved in the original criminal complaint and they made representation to their own police force, the advice is for those people to go back to their own police force and raise a complaint. That's fairly straightforward. Obviously, if you're in the Metropolitan Police area and back in 2021, 2022, you were trying to bring evidence of crimes about COVID, the vaccines and the government to the attention of the police, and they either turned you away or ignored you or made promises or just blatantly didn't do anything with the allegations of crimes that you were making, you should now go back and make a complaint about those individual incidents direct to your respective police force. I don't know how they're going to receive you. I don't know what they're going to say or do, but that's the advice that's come from the Metropolitan Police, and the Metropolitan Police are actively investigating 6029 679 /21 that was taken out in December of 2021 and closed in February of 2022. So if you went to your police force back in the day and brought this to their attention, provided evidence, tried to make an allegation of crime and you were shut down or ignored, go back to that police force, make a complaint either online or in person at the police station and make them aware the Met are now investigating. But it's the duty of the police force that you're making the allegation to investigate your individual complaint. That's the advice that I've been given by the Metropolitan Police and their Professional Standards Directorate. Likewise, we now believe, as many do across the world, that we are all victims of crime. What happened from March 2020 onwards and including today, it's still continuing. We believe we've been victims of crime as a result of the COVID pandemic, the vaccine rollout and the conduct of the government, whether you're in England, Ireland, Scotland or Wales. And we know this was carrying on and carried out in every country around the world. If you believe that you are a victim of this crime, and I know you've done this before, but please bear with me and understand why this is happening again today. Obviously, we're 5 years further on down the line, and the landscape has changed quite significantly, and we are seeing what's going on in the United States with COVID and Fauci and all of that playing out. So it's only right and proper that we now see this for what it is, which is mass criminal offences being committed against us by our own government. that were actively, knowingly and willingly covered up by all UK police forces. So other than the complaint that you make if you were trying to report crimes back in 2021, 2022, and using the evidence from the Hammersmith crime number, you can make a complaint about that. If you believe you are a victim of crime in relation to what went on during COVID, were you forced to wear a mask? Were you locked down? Were your children removed from school? Were you not allowed out the house? Were you forced to wear a mask? Were you coerced into taking a vaccine, or lose your job, or not be able to travel, or not enter a restaurant or a bar or a pub? Did you take a vaccine? Were you injured? Has it affected your life? Have you received life-threatening injuries or debilitating injuries as a result of receiving those vaccines? Was any of your loved ones who had taken the COVID vaccines, are they deceased? Are they victims of crimes as a result of what the government did and the pressure people were put under as a result of the government and their vaccine rollout? If so, you should go to your own police station in your own respective force area, and you can make a complaint that you are a victim of crime. Now, you are a victim of crime. You have to state why you believe you're a victim of crime. If any of what I've previously said apply to you, and I know it's going to be many of you, you are a victim of terrorism. And the Terrorism Act of 2000 and 2006 is very, very specific. And it is the use of or threat of anything to influence the government or to intimidate the public. First and foremost, was what they did, was it endangering a person's life? Secondly, was it creating a serious risk to the health or safety of the public? Was what was done to us used to advance an ideological cause? Well, the vaccine rollout, what has it done? There's a depopulation agenda. That to me is an ideological cause. There is excess deaths, mass sterilisation. So we're seeing excess deaths and low birth rates. It's having its effect. The vaccines have been designated a biological weapon of mass destruction. That has come from a Dr. Francis Boyle. He's a United States lawyer and professor. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He's also a very important man because not only did he advise on human rights, war crimes, international law and genocide, he also wrote the legislation and it was adopted in the United States in 1989. He has designated the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines as a biological weapon of mass destruction. So that fits into the Terrorism Act. It's a weapon. It was used against the people. It was used to intimidate the public, endanger a person's life, and created a serious risk to the health and safety of the public. And it was used to advance an ideological cause, namely depopulation, and we are seeing the effect by excess deaths and low birth rates. You can go to the police if you've been affected or you believe one of your loved ones has succumbed to the vaccines. Go and make a criminal complaint. Tell them, explain what's happened and why. I will provide a link to the Terrorism Act. I will also provide a link to the Francis Boyle affidavit. He swore an affidavit, and in it he confirms the COVID vaccines are a biological weapon of mass destruction. I will also provide you with my original complaint that I made to the Metropolitan Police about how they handled the crime report. That was in March of 2026, and in that you'll see the complaint that I made and the evidence that I supplied. It's all there. And if there's any pushback from the police, they have a duty to report and to record your crime under the Home Office crime recording rules, and they have a duty to treat you as a victim of crime and investigate as they should any other crime. They cannot use Operation Talla, they cannot ignore you, they cannot deny you your lawful right to report a crime, and they have statutory obligations and duties to investigate those crimes and treat you as a victim, whether they like it or not. I cannot legislate for how they will deal with you. They will probably tell you to go to the Metropolitan Police. The Metropolitan Police are now saying, don't do that. Each individual force now has a duty to investigate each complaint as they are reported. What I will also ask is, if any of you do make a complaint, whether it's online, in the police station, or however you do it, whether you're making a complaint because of your original involvement in the original crime report back in 2021, 2022, or you're making a new complaint as a victim or on behalf of a relative, please consider just putting out a very short 10 or 15-second video, just saying who you are, where you're from, the fact that you've made a complaint, when you made it, to what police force, if you received a crime number or not, and very briefly why you've made that complaint. You're vaccine damaged, or you were forced to take a vaccine in order to go on holiday, or you didn't take a vaccine and you lost your business. However this affected you in any way as a victim of terrorism, and the UK government is guilty, you believe is guilty of committing that offence against you. It is also worthy of note, it's quite possible, and this is included in the Terrorism Act, that the government itself was being blackmailed or forced to propagate this injection and force it on the people across the UK. They too might have been under pressure. Who from? Why did they go to such great lengths to make sure that everybody was injected, as many people as possible were injected with this bioweapon? Who put this undue pressure on them and why? So the police have a duty to investigate this. It's not for me to investigate, or Ian Clayton or Philip Highland or anybody else who makes a criminal complaint or allegation. The evidence is there. You are a victim. The Terrorism Act is made out. Dr. Francis Boyle's affidavit is proving and stating it's a bioweapon, a weapon of mass destruction, and my complaint is now actively being investigated about why the police closed my complaint in 2022. 6029679/21 was that crime complaint number, and it's now actively being investigated by the Metropolitan Police Professional Standards Directorate. If you are a victim, if you're involved, contact your local police, get it on the record, and if you feel comfortable, please put a brief video out just documenting what you've done so that it gives confidence to others to do the same. I know there are millions and millions of victims of these crimes. It's fact, and what they've done to us has to be investigated. Those responsible have to be held to account, and remedy and redress is needed for the many, many victims. I will also add separately, the elderly were murdered in the care homes and hospitals in 2020-2021. It's believed it's still ongoing. The evidence surrounding midazolam and morphine is now being looked at again, and that evidence was submitted recently by the man who put all of that evidence together. If he wants to make a video explaining who he is and what he's done, please feel free to do so. I don't want to name names. It's up to each individual to do this of their own accord and come forward and make themselves known to the public if they feel happy to do so. Thank you for listening. All the information you need will be provided. The Terrorism Act, the Dr. Francis Boyle affidavit confirming the COVID vaccines is a weapon of mass destruction and a bioweapon, and my complaint with all the information that was sent to the Metropolitan Police in March of 2026 and what they are now investigating. Thank you very much for your time.